Welcome to the Daily Current Affairs Quiz by CivicCentre IAS for the day 29th March 2025. Without any further delay, let's get into the discussion. So the first question here is in the context of the recent earthquake in Myanmar. See, Myanmar lies along the boundary of India plate and the Eurasia plate, making it prone to earthquakes. So the India plate and the Eurasia plate interact by horizontal motion, resulting in strike-slip fault. So the first statement is correct, right? So these earthquakes occur due to the sliding horizontally past each other, unlike the subduction zone earthquakes, where one plate slides beneath the other. So the Sagaing region, located in the earthquake-prone region, has not experienced frequent large or destructive earthquakes, though it remains vulnerable to significant seismic events due to tectonic conditions in the area. So the second statement is wrong, right? So the recent earthquake in Myanmar was thus attributed to these interactions at the plate boundary, which can cause earthquakes with magnitudes between 7 to 8, despite being less frequent than the subduction zone earthquakes. Correct answer is option A, which is 1 only. Moving on to talk about the second question. It's a three-statement question. It related to the Contempt of Courts Act of 1971. So the Contempt of Courts Act of 1971 defines civil contempt as willful disobedience of any court's orders, and criminal contempt as the acts that scandalize or lower the authority of the court to obstruct the justice. So the first statement is correct. See, fair criticism of judicial acts, if based on decided matters, is not considered contempt. So the courts can act on the contempt cases through a motion from the Advocate General or on their own motion. Hence the second statement is also correct. In criminal contempt cases, the proceedings are typically heard by a bench of 2 or more judges, and punishment may include imprisonment up to 6 months or a fine. So, the appeals against the contempt orders can be made to higher benches or the Supreme Court, and the contempt actions must be initiated within 1 year. So, this third statement is wrong, and the correct answer is option B, which is 1 and 2 only. So the third question here is about the India's first-person view drone. See, the Indian Army inducted its first FPV drone with a anti-tank payload, which presents a significant milestone in the tactical drone warfare. So the first statement is correct. It is developed in collaboration with the Terminal Ballistics Research Development Laboratory, and the drone is designed for kamikaze attacks targeting enemy tanks and armored vehicles. So these drones are assembled at the Rising Star Drone Battle School, which had already fabricated over 100 drones by March 2025, contributing significantly to the Indian Army's drone warfare strategy. Hence the second statement is also correct, right? Furthermore, these FPV drones are seen as a strategic advantage, particularly after their performance in the Ukraine war. Also, the development marks India's first successful in-house production of such advanced drones, providing a tactical edge in the modern combat. So the correct answer is option C, which is both 1 and 2. So moving on to talk about the fourth question. It talks about the core sectors in the Indian economy. See, the core sectors of Indian economy, including the sectors like the electricity, steel, fertilizers and others, play a crucial role in the India's industrial performance and economic growth. Note that these 8 sectors contribute 40.27% to the index of industrial production, which is a key measure of industrial growth. Hence the first statement is correct, right? Also, the index of 8 core industries, which reflects the production performance of these core sectors, both individually as well as collectively, is calculated monthly by the Office of Economic Advisor under the Department of Promotion of Industry and Department of Internal Trade, under the Ministry of Commerce and Industry. Hence the second statement is wrong because it says measures quarterly. Hence the correct answer is option A, which is 1 only. So moving on to talk about the fifth question, which talks about the tigers outside the Tiger Reserve project. So about this detailed analysis, you can check our daily current affairs video. See, this project focuses on monitoring tigers in non-reserve areas, which means outside the reserves, and reducing the human-wildlife conflict and tackling poaching and livestock depredation. So the aim is to protect the tiger populations outside the notified areas and mitigate the conflict just within the reserves. Hence the correct answer is option B, which is mentioned here. So the next question here talks about the NHRC, or the National Human Rights Commission. See, this NHRC, established in the year 1993, functions under the Protection of Human Rights Act of 1993 and is in line with the Paris Principles for the human rights institutions. Know that it holds civil court powers such as ability to summon witnesses and request documents. Hence, both Statement 1 and Statement 2 are correct. Also, the NHRC is empowered to recommend compensation for victims of human rights violations and can take suo motu actions when the violations occur even without a formal complaint. So, the third statement is wrong and the correct answer is option A, which is 1 and 2 only. Also, its main roles include addressing human rights violations, reviewing inhibiting factors, and promoting the work of NGOs in the human rights field. So, the sixth question, the answer is option A. So, the last question here talks about the current account deficit. See, what is this current account deficit? See, it refers to the difference between the country's exports and imports of goods and services. Know that it includes firstly the balance of trade. What is this balance of trade? Difference between the exports and imports of goods and services. Next, it includes the net factor income, which means it includes the interest income and dividends from abroad. Lastly, the net transfer payments, which includes foreign aid and remittances. Furthermore, the capital account transactions do not contribute to the CAD as they are part of the capital account and not current account. Hence, the correct answer is option A, which is 1, 2 and 3 only. So, in this video, we have discussed 7 questions in total from 7 articles in today's newspaper from the Hindu, the Indian Express and the PIB. We'll be back again with another video tomorrow. Thank you.